Okay, thank you very much, IK. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Frankly, you want to set me up, Abby?
morning. They want to tap into your grace.
Okay, go ahead.
Just cut small soup for them. All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope
Good morning.
everyone is having. I hope everyone is having a very lovely morning.
We thank God for that.
Abby, yes, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so today we'll be revisiting a topic that has been treated but not fully treated. So, and that's going to be arrays. So, let's see. We'll discuss a little bit on arrays today. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm glad you liked Tuesday's class. Okay, so we'll be discussing a little bit on arrays today, and we'll try to see how we can, help you guys understand arrays very well. So, before we start, I think we'll just do a little bit of discussion, like revision on arrays. Okay, so I'll just be watching from the charts. You guys will do a little bit of teaching today. So, before, okay, without further ado, let us start. Um, we all know that arrays are one of the data types in JavaScript. Yes, I think that part was actually covered in the last class. Then, I want to ask a question. How do we create arrays in JavaScript? If you know the answer, just type it in the chat. I think I'll see it. How do we create arrays in JavaScript? Anybody?
You asked us to type. I'm typing
Yeah.
what I
All
think.
right. Okay. Malik, I can see Malik's side via my array. Very good. Then uh, Akim Babola, yes. Okay, yeah, that's also const dogs equals to, okay, I think that's an array of objects, of an object. Okay, yes, okay, so I think we understand. Okay, so from my side, this person that wrote const anything equal to 123, please, could you state your name? Because on my end, I am seeing host. So just write your name down so I know who that person is. Okay, blessing, I can see your side. Yeah, so I think we all understand what arrays are. Okay, Timilein. Okay, same thing that happened last time. All right, it's okay. All right, very good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. You guys really understand what arrays are and how arrays work. Now, that's nice. Miriam, yeah, I like what you did. Yes, so that's like initializing an array from Miriam's point of view. Yes, that's very good. That's also one way of creating arrays. Yeah, very good. Thank you, everyone. Okay, you guys can stop writing now. It's okay. We understand. You know how to create arrays. Very good. Okay, at least our effort is not in vain. Okay, so since we all know how to create arrays in JavaScript, that's a very good way. So, do we know how to get elements from an array? Let's say, for example, these arrays you guys have created, uh, get the first element of the array, just a snippet of what the code is going to look like, the first element of the array. Okay, Ajibade, I can see yours. Yeah, my array. Okay, so when you're getting the first element, tell us what the result is actually going to be. So you could just put like my array bracket square bracket 0, and then just be like is equal to car, if that's what it's going to be. Okay. All right. Very good. I see that. I see that. Very good. So you guys really, yes, yeah, okay, okay. All right. So you guys understand how to get elements from an array. That's very good. Okay. Uh, how do you add elements to an array? There are two ways you can add elements to an array. Uh, I'm not going to say them. Okay? If you guys can actually teach me how to do that, that would be lovely. Uh, Akim Bobola is saying push, but I want to see the code. Like you're saying push. No, blessing, you don't use set item in an array. Okay. Miriam is saying array dot push name. That's nice. Okay. Best, you're saying on shift. How do you use on shift? Okay, Akim Bobola said, okay, dot push. Imole, you said, okay, all right, okay, colors dot push blue. That's nice, very good. So that I've seen how they use push. Okay, how do you use on shift? Someone use on shift. How do you use on shift? Okay, Miriam. All right, I see that. That's good. Well, I think with the on shift method, I think that's not just everything, Abby. Okay, all right. Okay, so how do you, if that's how you add, okay, foot dot on shift. Okay, those who are using on shift, you realize that those parentheses, uh, the parentheses inside on shift, you have to put in the value in which you want to add to the array. Yes, Ogochukwu, I think I really like what I'm saying. It shows that we are really doing a good job. On shift, you guys haven't finished the on shift. I think the only person that got how to use on shift very well was Miriam, but I think she is not totally done. So I'm still waiting to see who will use on shift very well. Oh, Chidiogo, thank you very well. Foot dot on shift, right? That's how you use it. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so how do you remove elements from an array? So just like in what's it called? Adding elements, there are also two ways. There is shift and then there is pop. How do you do it? All right. I'm waiting for you guys. Mm-hmm. All right. Malik has used pop. Who is going to use shift? Okay, Timileyin, I can see, yeah, pop one. No, okay. Splice is also one way of getting things out of an array, but then there's how splice works. Blessing. Yeah, splice is also one way, but then you definitely know. Okay, the way splice works, splice actually takes what was removed and puts it in a new array. Okay, I see using var. That's what I'm saying. Splice would take what was removed from one array and put it in another array. I think we also work on that too. Okay, arrays dot food. Okay, food dot shift. Yeah, yes, food dot shift. Yeah, I use if you use food dot shift, Shift, now the way shift works is that shift takes the first element of the array, while pop takes the last one. Okay. All right, that's good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you from
All
here.
right. All right, very good. Uh, then uh, I have I have a question. Okay, filter is an array method, but it is not used for um, it's not used for removing elements from the array. It is used for filtering the array to get certain values in the array. Okay. Um, Now I have a question. Now, how do you copy an array? How do you copy an array in JavaScript? Does anybody know? Mm. How do you copy an array in JavaScript? Okay, no idea. Best, that's good. Best says he has no idea. Those okay. Bless it. Don't be funny. Arrays the copy will not work. Except if copy is a function. Okay. Malik says he has forgotten. All right. Okay. So okay. All right. So I think that is where we are going to start from. Okay. So first things first, I am going to share my screen. It's nice that you guys are actually following up very well. So what we just did now was just kind of like a revision session so that you guys so we could actually know where you guys understand and where we're actually going to start from. All right, so I will share my screen now. So we'll start. I'm blessing you phone you. I read your copy. Okay, so this is where we'll be starting. All right, so let me go live. All right. All right, so and okay, all right. Okay, so today we'll be discussing on. I think I'll start from how to copy or clone arrays. Okay, so there is a particular method on how to copy or clone arrays, and I think that's where I'm actually going to start from. So let's say we have an array, uh, call this array anything, we'll call this, let's call this fruits, and uh, names of fruits that we know. Let's see, there's mango, okay. Okay, let me see if anybody is giving me suggestion. Is there any suggestion of fruits? Okay, I
Apple.
don't. Okay, apple, pear, very good. Watermelon, all right. Okay, I think that is more than enough. Okay, so we'll go with this. Let's say apple, then there's pear, and there's watermelon. Melon, all right. I hope I got this spelling correctly. Now, let's console log fruits to the console. Let's see. Now, if we go to the browser and check what we have, we'll see that we have four items in our fruits array: mango, apple, pear, watermelon. Now, let's say we wanted to make a copy of fruits. Now, let's create another array. We'll call this cons and we'll say fruits copy. I'll give this. Now, there is a way we do this. There is a method we use to copy arrays, and it's called slice. Now, there are two ways you can actually copy an array. The first one is slice. And how do we use slice? You could say fruits dot slice. It's actually a method. Now, if we console log, sorry, console log fruits copy, let's see what we have. Okay, so now you see that it has actually copied it. Now, there is also another one which is called the spread operator. It's also used to either copy an array or add add two arrays together. Okay, but I will not touch that now. We'll come to that later on. Okay, but whenever you want to copy an array or clone an array, I think the best way is to use slice. Now, that's one. And let's say, for example, we want to check if there is uh, a particular item in an array. Let's say, for example, we are trying to get something from an array and we want to check if this particular item is in this array. How do we do that? Does anybody have any idea? Let me see comments if there's anyone that has. Now, like, say for
What if you
example,
write
we want to
typo?
get. You said?
Can we write typo?
No, type of is trying to know the kind of the data type. Okay. Rachel is saying contains. Chidiogo is saying we look through. Okay. Uh, hmm. I think contains works more with objects than arrays, but there is actually a method in arrays to actually do that, and it's called. I think it's called its array. So let's see. All right. So let's say we want to check if there is apple in fruits array. So we could just console.log. So we get the log. All we'll do is we'll call the array we want to check, that we want to reference, so which is fruits dot. The method we are using is array, and then we'll check for that particular one. Let's say let's check for apple. Now if we save and go back to the browser and check, okay, it's saying this array is not a function. Okay, let's see, what are we doing wrong? Okay, okay, All right, so let's see. Let me rewrite this. Okay, I'll call this. Let me create a variable. I'll call this has apple. Is equal to fruits dot. Okay, we could use includes. You could use includes instead of this array. And okay, let's say apple and console log. Now this includes returns a boolean. If apple is actually in the fruits array, it's going to return true. If apple is not there, it's going to return false. So if you console log it, we'll actually see it. So we say console log has apple, save and go back and we see true. So which means that's how we do it. So did anybody understand what I just did? Okay,
Yes,
it's
yes, I
really
can
like we
understand.
use includes, yeah, yes, includes works, yes, includes works, yeah. Okay, so that's how we actually check for an item in an array. Now, let's say, for example, if you actually did change it from apple to, let's say, uh, how do you spell banana again?
Same way it is pronounced.
Oh, banana, B. So, I think that's one N, whichever. There, and we save.
Single N.
Yeah, we see that we get false because there is no mention of banana in the array in any way. So that's how we actually find if an item is actually in the array, in an array. Okay, so there are a lot of how do I put it? There are a lot of array methods that we could actually use. Now, there's something they call array destructuring, and that came up with ES6. That came up with ES6. So it's more like a syntax to actually extract elements from an array or to extract, yes, extract elements from an array. Now you could use splice to do that. But with array destructuring, sorry, whose mic is on, please? Just it's echoing in my ear. Sorry. So you could use splice, but with array destructuring, it's a lot more easier. So let me explain what I'm trying to do. Let me show what I'm trying to explain. Sorry. Now let's say we have this array. Okay, before I write too many codes, I'll still use this fruits array. Now, uh, let's say in fruits array now we want to put mango, apple, pear, and watermelon in separate variables. How will we do that? Now, normally, all we will do is this. We could say const, and we'll now say mango is equal to, we'll look for fruits. I would say 0, that will get us mango. And then if you console log it, you get mango. Yeah, we see mango. But assuming you wanted to do this for all the elements in this array, or whether this for all the elements in this array, will we keep declaring the variables and then iterating to the array through the array like that? That will kind of be tedious. So there is something they call array destructuring. okay, it's not just array destructuring, it's called destructuring because we could use it for both objects and arrays. So how do we do that? So this is what we do with destructuring in arrays. So we could say const, and so it's more like we're creating another array. So we could say mango, but this time we don't put any strings. Okay, apple, we don't put any quotes. And then pear, and then watermelon, and put it equal to the fruits array, which is this. So we just copy this and paste this and save. Once you check this, okay, if you console log this, I think it's still the same thing we'll see. So we could console log and check mango, apple. Let's just say mango and apple. But if you console log the others, you still get the same thing. If you go back, you see mango and apple returns mango and apple. So it's more like saying take mango and give it the value of mango here. You could even change this from mango if you don't want to use mango. We could call it anything. We'll just call it A, and we could change this from mango to A. And if you do this, you'll see that it's still mango. So the naming convention is what I just use because most times it's always easier to use the same names for these array elements. All right, so that's one part. Uh, that's also okay. That's one part of how we could actually do that. Then, moving on. Please, if I am too fast, let me know just in case. Okay, if I'm too fast. Okay. Uh, Imole, thank you for helping me spell banana. Sorry, I think I didn't get to see that. Uh, Malik, so you're saying you don't understand. Okay, just what is the problem? Malik, if you're hearing me, you could unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, the second const. Which one exactly? Let's see. Okay, this second one. All right. Okay. Now, let me use a comment. Okay, I said this is array structuring. Yeah, this is array destructuring. So this is more like saying this is a better way of writing this. Okay, so Malik, this is what I wanted to do. Let's say we want to create a variable, say const. Okay, I want to assign a to the first value of the fruits array. So we could just say fruits, I would say 0, and then we create another variable and we set it equal to the second value. So we say and then on and on const c equal to fruits 2. But this is kind of long. So if we did uh, If we did this, let me comment this out so it doesn't clash. If we did this, put B, C, yeah, and we save, and we go and check. If you go and check here, you see that you still get mango, apple, pear, and the rest. But now, this is kind of long. So rather than doing it this way, we could just do it this way. Now, like this. So we could say const A, B, C, given add D, and we set it to the values of mango, apple, pear, watermelon. So if we did this, this is still the same thing we get. We save, we go back, we get this. It's still the same thing. You understand now, right? Okay, very good. So that's more like, all right. Okay, now, um, the next, to the next thing in an array. So let's say, for example, we wanted to skip a value in an array. Okay, let's say, like, wanted to skip a value. Let's say we didn't want to get pear from here, and or wanted to skip pear and apple, but what we want to get is just mango and watermelon. We could do this. We could just come here and remove B and remove C. And if you save, this. Okay, let's remove these guys, B and C. Just put just one. So okay, save this. And we go back here. We just get mango and watermelon. Please, if you don't understand what I just did, put your hands up. If you understand what I just did, wave your hand. Best, do you understand or you don't understand? Which one?
It's not reflecting on my own head.
You said I can't hear you.
I said it's not
Um,
bringing any difference here. I'm
from
just
your
trying to
own
see the
end.
same. Yes, from my own hand. Just trying to copy what you have done and see its
Okay, so
effect.
okay, so okay, okay. Just paste your code. Paste your code in the chat section. Let's see what you did. Okay, so best you understand. Who else doesn't understand? Let's see. If you don't understand, you could just type in the chat section that you don't understand. I think that's going to help. At least maybe Oko could actually give you some pointers. Okay, but in the meantime, Ajibade, I think we are waiting for you, so you could actually see what your code is. Okay, so until he does that, so now let's say a little bit complicating with. So before I start, I'll ask a question. Who has heard of nested arrays before? Or if you did further maths, raise your hand. Oh, Emule, okay, nice. It's going to look like further mass now. Okay, Omotayo, very good. I want to do something that looks like further mass. Okay, I've heard it, but I don't know how it works. Nice, nice. All right, so now you could have an array that looks like this. Uh, let's see, we could have an array. Okay, let's, what can we call this array? Now, let's say we have an array like this, watermelon, and then inside this array, we have another array, which we could be an array of, say, vegetables. Mm. So you could say, okay, something like carrots, and then we have tomatoes, and let's see, cabbage. Now, I save this, and let's say I wanted to get carrots. Okay, let's say I wanted to get carrots from this array. How do I get carrots from this fruits array now? Does anybody have any idea? Can anybody try? Yes, it is a multi-dimensional array. Yes, or you could also call it nested array. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody know how to get that? Let me go back to the code. So you have an array nested inside another array, and you're trying to get what's it called? You're trying to get the value of the inner array, so to speak of. Does anybody know how to do that? Oh, Timilaya, thank you for your attempt, but you're almost there, almost. Oh, okay. Well, you would have gotten it to, but okay. Gomina is Miriam is saying okay. Yes, Malik is saying all right. So yes, I think that is the answer. The person who would have gotten this right was Babalola. The person who would have gotten this right was Babalola, but he didn't get it very well. Then I think the person who got it right was actually Miriam, and then Malik. Yes, so I think that's how you do it. Now, you first of all get to the part where the array starts. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and the array starts from number 4, and we're trying to get carrot here. So if we console log fruits and we say number 4, and because there's also another array in it, put another bracket and then say 0, we get fruits. Go and check this, we get carrots, sorry. Yeah, so this is how I actually do it. Yes, like this. And then so this is also a way of a multi-dimensional array. And let's say even if we did have something inside here again, like say another array, okay, so we could still use the same method and still kind of like look through the array. Let's see if I add something like yam here now. I want to get yam. That this is 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So over here now will now be 3 and then 0. And if you save this and check in browser, you see we get yam. So I don't know if you guys understand.
Yes, yes.
All right, very good. Okay, welfare, that wouldn't work. This would not work. This will not work. The idea is to remove the second bracket is supposed to be after like after the whole first bracket, the way Gomina and Malik actually wrote theirs. Okay, so now, hmm, okay, so now we're about to go into something that's a lot more, let's say, complex. I just want to take it little by little and show you guys all these array methods or things you could use, how to manipulate arrays first of all. Okay, so let's say, for example, now we call I want to do something. I want to take away everything in this second array, and I want to put it in a new array. So I want to call this array veggies. I'll paste this here.
We can't see what you're doing anymore, please. If you can hear, thank you.
Okay, sorry guys, looks like you guys lost me somewhere, but I am back now. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Okay. No, I haven't started sharing my screen, but if you guys can hear me very well, at least that's a start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Okay, so let me share my screen. Sorry, it looks like my network wants to do me shaggy today. Uh, okay, okay, sharing. Okay, very good. You guys can see my screen now, right? All right. Okay, so I was asking a question. Now I said I have two arrays. One is fruits, and the other is veggies. And I'm saying I want to add these two arrays together. Does anybody have any idea on how to do that? Does anybody have any idea on how to add two arrays together? Hmm. Okay. Well, I said concat. Okay, drop a code snippet of how you use concat. Let's see. Okay, I'm still waiting. Okay, when Richard is saying use plus, uh, I want to see how the code is going to look like. That's what I want to see. Okay, so if you're actually going to type, so just drop a code snippet. Let's see how it looks like online.
I've dropped it, but I think you're not seeing it yet.
Okay, okay,
Because I've dropped
okay.
it in the chat. So should I just say it?
All right, if you can say it, fine. Yeah.
Okay. It will be the first array dot concat the second array in brackets. That's it.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's how it's done. Yes. So, all you actually do is this. You could say we could just call it, or we could just okay. Let's just console.log first, and we just say fruits dot concat, and we put veggies inside. Three, one v veggies. Yes, like this, and yeah. So if we just go and yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Looks like my network is giving me issues today. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your patience. I'm sorry for this little hiccup. Okay, so sharing my screen now. All right. So I think well, I did see your chat. Okay, like this. I saw what you sent. Yeah, and yeah, you're very correct. So if you wanted to do this, yes, like you said, we call the first array and say dot concat and the second array inside and save it before we actually go and check. And then you see that everything is now in the same array. Okay. Uh, if you did not understand what just happened, please, you could just raise your hand. If you did not understand what just happened, you could raise your hand. If you understood what happened, you could also indicate too. Or you could just type in the chat if you understood or if you didn't understand. Anyone? All right, very good. Okay, now this concatenation or joining arrays together could also work for more than one arrays. Okay, Rolf, why is yours not working? Like, why is it not working? You could unmute your mic and actually speak out so we understand where your problem is coming from.
Hello, good morning.
Good
So
morning.
I really don't know. My code is I created a variable const add a equals fruit concat, then fruit with a z. Like I created two fruit variables earlier, and I console.log the add a, and my console is not showing now. But before then, I think when you went off for a while, I sent
Yeah,
a screenshot to the chat group because when I tried doing the array, the nested array, it
yeah.
gave me an error. It gave me an error, but I think you were not online then. So um I really don't know what's happening.
Okay, so you're saying right from the nested arrays, that's where you were kind of having issues, Abi?
Yes, the nested array told me uncaught type error cannot read properties of undefined, reading zero as a string. So I'm
Oh,
trying to
okay.
screenshot and send to the chat again.
Okay, rather than screenshot and send to the chat, just copy your code and paste in the chat. Just copy your code and paste in
Oh,
the chat.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. So apart from oral fair, does every other person understand? All right. Okay. From oral fair school. Okay, this is fruits, mango. Okay, very good. Okay, inside you have grapes and carrots. Okay, very good. Now console log fruits for 0. Mm-hmm. Now, so this this first code snippet here should actually work. Now, const add a say fruits dot concat. Now, the thing is this: the fruits, the add a, these fruits here. Uh, did you actually put it as an array?
Okay, may I? Did I put fruit as an array? The first fruit, yes, is an array. That was the first array I made, and it's still active on the code.
Yes, the fruit with the Z at the end. The fruit with the Z at the end, right?
Yes, there's an array for the fruit with the Z. That's the one I pasted, and then there's another one with S at the upper part of my
Yes.
PS file. So this is the
Okay,
error I
if there's
got earlier on my console.
secondary properties. of undefined reading. Okay, 0. Okay. All right. So let's do it this way. Okay. So let me copy your code and go into VS Code now. Now paste the upper part of the array, the fruits part. Let's see what's inside.
Okay. I'm doing that now.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let me see. Because okay, this is the fruits array, right?
Yes.
All right. It's good. Someone is saying because of no comma separation. Let's find
Comma.
everything else together. So let me comment mine out. Let's know where the issue actually be coming from. Right, so fruits had this array, which is fruits, mango, kiwi, orange, pear. Very good. Fruits, and then there's fruits which has mango, pear, and then grapes and carrots. Very good. Now, these fruits here on line 16, you can see my screen, right?
I can.
Yeah, on line 16, this is supposed to work. So if I save this and I go to the browser, okay, it's saying AppJS 16.0. Okay, yes, I see why it's not working. That's
Okay.
because there's no comma separation between peer and the new array inside. Okay?
Okay. I
Yeah.
think that was
So
what you
there's
meant.
supposed to be, yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. There's supposed to be a comma there to show that there's a new item there. And okay, I'm thinking now it's supposed to work. Yep, so it's actually worked. So line number 10.
Okay. That fixed it.
Yeah, and then, yeah, line number 16, and then everything is working fine now. All right, so you understand now, right? You're okay
Yes,
now,
I do.
right?
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so I was also trying to say something earlier. Now, concatenation, like or joining arrays, you could actually join more than one arrays together. So let's see. Yeah, yes. Thank you, Timilene. I think because there was no comma separation. Yeah. So you could actually join more than one arrays together, or more than two arrays together, for example, per se. So let's say we had another array which we want to actually call. Uh, okay, let's just call this cabo. Let's just say cabo and put this as say yam, potato, and there's okay, let's which other thing again, self. Okay, let's just add cassava. Let's say cassava, and then now we could actually combine these arrays. Now, how would we do this? How would we do this? Anybody has any idea how we would actually combine these arrays together? Let's say, for example, there's a dead array using concat. How would we do that? Anybody has any idea? Okay, the question was using concat. We have the first array which is fruits, and we have the second array which is veggies, and we use concat, and we're able to join these two arrays together, and we're able to get an array which was a combination of fruits and veggies. Now we have a third array, carbo, and we want to add carbo to this concatenation we just did. Any idea on how we could do that? Okay, push. Okay, Gomina says we should, okay, yeah, Gomina is correct actually. So all we just have to do is put a comma and then add carbo to the array, and that does it. So if we save this and we check in the browser, we see that, yeah, carbo is now added. You now have yam, potato, and cassava. Okay, so that's how we do that. Okay. Okay. There's also another way we could actually do something. Now, there's also another method. It's called the join method. Now, the join method joins all elements of an array using a separator and returns a string. Now, okay, so it's more like saying we could put all of this. Let's just say we could put everything inside this, all of this. I could put them as one string. So what do we mean? Let's go back to VS Code and see if we could just show what we mean. So we have these arrays which we've just concatenated. Now, what will happen if we say dot join? We save and we check. It turns everything inside the array into a string. Is there confusion in the land? Does everybody understand? All right, very good. Malik, your yes, is it per se? Oh, you're bewildered. Okay, okay. So let me explain. Let me explain a lot better. All right, so let me do with this. Okay, but so far so good. You guys understand the concatenation part, right? How you can actually join more than one arrays together. Abi? All right, very good. You do. Right. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. I'll do away with this. Let's say we use this join. Now, what the way join works is this. Join kind of like puts it brings out all the elements of the array and displays them as a string. Okay, so let's say we have a variable. Let's say we want to change everything in fruits into a string. So we could just say fruits fruit string, and let's say this equal to fruits dot join. Now, if you're using this dot join has a default separator, which is a comma. So even if we don't add anything here, although dot join actually takes in values, whatever value you put inside join is what is going to be used as the separation for the words. Okay, so if you don't put anything as a separation for the words, it's going to use a comma by default. So let's just do by default and see what happens. So if we save this and we console log this and we console log fruit string, let's see what we have. Now by default, you see that we have mango, comma, apple, comma, pear, comma, watermelon. All of them are just joined together, and the only thing that's separating them is just a comma. But we could actually do something. We could just say, okay, fine. On every word, this is what we want to be the separation. We could say we want them to be separated by a string, comma, and a space. And if you save this and we go and we check, you see that there is a comma and then there is a space. Okay, is it still confusing? Like, are you guys understanding what I just did? You guys understand, or it's still confusing? All right, good. All right, you guys understand now. All right, very good, very good. Okay, so now we could also, like, just the same way. So you could use any character at all. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a comma or a space. It could be anything at all you want to put inside here. So you could just put, even if it's asterisks, you want to put whatever it is you put inside this bracket is what is going to be the separator. Okay, so you put anything at all, even if it is this. Okay, this will return an error because of like, if you put, even if it's this you're putting, okay, this is going to return an error too. Okay, because this is, that's for logical operations, so that's will not work. But it will actually, okay, whatever it is we're actually going to put, supposed to be in quotes, sorry. So let's say we'll put this and this should work. Sorry about that misconception. And you see that this is what we have. Now, we actually have to put them inside this code, so else it will return an error. So anything at all we want to use, so it could actually be %, put that and check. I guess you guys understand the concept now. All right, so let me see. I think the next thing I'm actually going to show you guys of, hmm, let's see, I'm trying to think of something. Okay, okay. Um, there's also the fill method of an array, although it's not widely used most of the time, but it's also an array method. Now, the fill method mutates the array. What do I mean by mutates the array? The fill method actually changes the array entirely. It changes the original array. Now, what do I mean? Let's just say we have this. Let's work with veggies this time around. Let's call this change veggies. And we say, okay, for change veggies, now we want to change veggies and want to put something else inside there that's not a vegetable at all, or that does not even correlate with vegetables. Let's say I want to put a table inside. All right, so we could say veggies, sorry, let's see, okay, veggies dot fill method, and then the particular thing we actually want to change the whole array to. Now we could say table, and if we control log this, it changes the whole arrays, like everything inside the arrays to table. Okay, so if we save this and we check in the browser, veggies has changed to table. So everything inside veggies is now table. So like I said, it's one of those array methods where we don't usually use them most of the time, but then use cases, it's still okay. Now, uh, one other thing, there are also, how do I put this? There are also methods in which you could actually use. There are more than one parameters we could use the fill method for. Let's say, for example, we could actually specify which particular element or which particular element of the array we want to change. Now, how do we do that? So we do it this way. We say comma. Now, the elements, let's say, for example, we wanted to change carrots, just carrot in the veggies array. We could say 0. 0 standing for the first element, and we'll now say 1. 1 meaning that the change is not going to get past the second element. It's just going to stop at the first element. Now, if we save this and we go check in our browser, we see that it's only carrots that was changed. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Okay. Chidiogo, where is your what's the problem?
Sorry, please, can you go over it again? Like that part where you have to like restrict it to a particular index.
Okay, all right. So let me do that. All right. So let me do it this way. I'll put something like a pseudo. So the way the fill works is that fill the way fill works is this. The first parameter the fill takes is the the particular string or whatever it is you want to use to replace the element of the array. So this could be a string, and then or anything at all, and then uh, the first letter, the start letter or the start element of which you want to use to change. Now, let's say, for example, in the veggies array, we wanted to change carrots. Now, we know that carrot has the position of 0 in the veggies array because it is number 0, right? So we could just say 0. Oh, okay, sorry, not there. We could just say 0. Also, we also know that okay, we don't want to actually let the change get past tomatoes. So it's only carrots we want to change. And tomatoes has the value of 1. So if you put 1 here, it means that the change stops before the second value, which is this number 1, tomatoes. So the change will only occur at carrot. Now, if you change this 1 to 2, the change will occur at carrots and tomatoes, but it will not touch cabbage because we're saying once it gets to the item with the number 2, it should stop. Okay, I don't know if you understand. So if you actually do this now, let's say for example we say comma 0 and 2 and save this, then if we check, okay, okay, now Orofe, you're asking if you said, okay, what if we wanted to like change the last one? Uh, okay, then if we only want to change the last item and leave the first two. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. All right. That's a very nice question. That's a very nice question. All right. Let's see if we can actually do that. Okay. Let's say we wanted to change just the last item, only the last item from the array, right? All right. So let's say it's going to be like this guy said, it's going to be array.length. Okay, this is Olatunbosun. He said we'll use array.length, which is going to be like veggies.length minus 1. And then this is supposed to be where it ends. And where is it going to end? It's going to end at the last element of the array, which is going to be veggies.length. Okay, Rolfe, do you understand? I don't know if you got that part.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you also,
All
Latubosun.
right, all right, you're welcome. So that was instead of minus one at the end, you just use the array.length. Okay, all right. So okay, I think that's that about the field property. You guys understand that very well now, Abby? Okay. Okay, let's say for example we want to find there are two methods. Okay, I'll actually treat now. We have the index of and then last index of. Okay, so let's say for example we want to find it's okay. This index of is kind of like includes, but the only difference is that unlike includes where okay, let me just do this. Okay, you could say now let's just do say const check fruits. Let me just say check fruits. I want to check fruits. I want to check for check fruits. Okay, let's say I want to check if there is a particular element or a particular item in fruits. Let's say I want to check for mango. If you're using includes, we'll use it this way. We'll say fruits dot includes and say okay. Let's say we use pear, and now this would return a boolean if it is there. If pear is in the array, it will tell us true. If pear is not in the array, it will tell us false. So we say check fruits. Now tell us if it's in the array or if it's not in the array. Um, Kenneth. Okay. Someone who actually saw what I did with the dot length property. Please, just help update Kenneth what went down. Okay. All right. So like I said, if here is in the fruits array, it's actually going to show true. If it's not in the fruits array, it's actually going to show false. Okay. Okay. So okay. All right then. Let me go back just 1 minute. I'll just go back just for Kenneth's sake. Okay. Now, Kenneth, I was saying there was a question. They said, okay, what if we wanted to change the last element of any array using the field property? How would we do that? And we were like, okay, the way we actually do that was saying, okay, let's say we want to you just create a random variable and call it a, and say a is going to be equal to veggies dot fill. I want to change the last element. Now the first thing we'll do is what we want to change that last element to. Okay, let's say we just call this sandals, and then the first thing, changing the last element, we'll say veggies dot length, I'll say -1. Remember the first array class we did, we said that if you want to grab the last element of the array, you always use array.length -1. You guys remember that, right? Okay, and then now to tell field where to end, we say field should actually end at veggies.length. Okay, so if you do this and you console log a, we're going to get that. Okay, sorry, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that it has changed from pear, Abby. It has changed from cabbage to sandals. So, Kenneth, do you understand now? All right, very well. Thank you for explaining that. Yes, very correct. All right, so on to where we are. So we could actually take this off now, and we're trying to explain that if we use includes, now if you check for something with includes, it was actually going to return a boolean. So it was going to return a boolean. If it's true, if it's there, it's going to return true. If it's not there, let's say we delete arrow and leave only p, and see that it returns false. Now with index of, it is actually different. Okay, index of will not return true or false, but it's also going to do something that looks like a truthy or falsy kind of thing. So in JavaScript, okay, let me just show you guys what I'll show you guys the result, and then I'll explain why the result is that way. So let's say you want to check if there's index of peer. So you see index of, and you have peer. I check the result. It's going to return 2, which is the value of peer. Okay. Um, anybody confused? Any confusion? All right. If there is no confusion, I think. All right. Good. I'll just continue. So now when you say index of, it's going to return the index of peer. So in fruits, in the fruits array, peer is actually 0, 1, 2. That's why index of returned 2, the actual index of peer. Now let's say we take away 1R and we save. What we'll have, we get -1. So -1 is part of the negative falsy values. So what I mean by negative falsy values is like saying -1 is kind of like saying null or undefined or false. So which means it is not there at all. Okay. So if you want to do an if check and you say if you check for it and it doesn't return -1 or something, do this. If it doesn't return this, you could do that. Or okay, let me just show you guys with code what I mean. Let's say if you do an if statement, we could use index of for things like this. So let's say, for example, you want to check if, let's say, fruits dot index of, and you want to check the index of peer. You want to say if it is equal to, if it's strictly equal to -1, do this. Let's say, uh, we just say, let's just say console log. We just say there is no peer. But if it is there, we want to say else. Want to say there is peer. Okay, so if we save this and we check, the answer we are actually going to get is there is peer, because the index of 2 is not going to return -1, it is going to return 2. So let's see what we have. We see you get there is peer. Let's say, for example, we take p off and we save, we'll get there is no peer. So I'm just trying to show you guys how it works. Do you guys understand? Are you guys seeing my screen? All right, so this is the code I wrote. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. I
All
actually
right,
understand.
good. So you understand, right? All right, good, good. Okay, so this was just a little example to explain how index of works and how you could practicalize it in your code. Okay, so there is also another one, which is kind of like last index of. Okay, now the way last index of works is a bit different. Now, okay, I'm trying to think of a very good way of explaining last index of. So I will use Cabo to explain this. So let's say in an array you have repeated values. Okay, so we have yam, potato, cassava, and we have potato again. Am I spelling potato? Sorry. Okay, so we have potato again, and we want to check now. Normally, you wanted to check the index of potatoes. You'll be like, okay, let's just use console log immediately so we don't get stressed ourselves. Just say console log, say index, sorry, not just index, we just say cabo dot index of, and what we're checking for is potato. So now if we do this, it's actually going to show us that we have 1, which is 0, 1. That's where potato is. But if we wanted to check the last index of potato, or that's more like seeing where potato actually appeared last in this array. So last index of, save this, we get 3, which is kind of like the last. So that's what last index of is used for. I don't know if that's confusing. Do you guys understand? Wait, Kenneth, sorry, what didn't you understand? Uh, Hello, Kenneth. Just speak up so I hear you. Okay, the last thing I said before index of. If you can speak up, that would be easier. So, okay. So just type then. I'll still come back to you. All right. Okay. So, just just clarify your question very well. Just clarify your question very well in the chat section. Okay. So once I see it, then I'll pick it up. Okay. So while that's is happening in the background, now there's also another property. Okay. There's also another property of an array, which is called reverse. So kind of like saying we want to reverse an array. So this could work for anything entirely. Let's say, for example, we have an array of numbers. So say const num equal to we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we want to reverse this now. Okay, before we reverse this, if we console log num, and save, this is what we get. Kenneth, I'm still waiting for the question. So this is 1 to 10. And then let's say we want to reverse this. We could say num dot reverse, and we save this and we check. So it reverses it and say and starts from 10 and counts down to 1. Okay. All right. So that's more like it. So I think we're beginning to get down to the ones we will be using on a daily basis most of the time. So the next thing I want to actually show you guys is how to use sorts. How to use sorts in an array. All right. So sort is more like saying you want to arrange the array. Okay, let's say for example, we have. Okay, let me see if I don't quite remember what the function is called. You did it. Okay. Okay, if you can actually go over the video later, it's going to be easier. It's going to be better. Sorry, I didn't. Okay. Was it the last index of you're trying to talk about? Okay, I think the last thing I said before index of was I was trying to make a recap of how includes work. Is that what you mean? Is it includes where it returns a boolean value of true or false if what you're talking? All right, okay, if it includes, yes, it includes, yeah. Okay, so that's actually that's more like saying okay, num. I was trying to point out something. Like say if you're trying to get if a particular item is in an array, or if an array actually has a particular value. So you could use include to do that. So like say in the num array, you could just say if you include something like 9, and if you say it's supposed to return a boolean if it is true or false, and if it's there it's going to return true, if it's not there it's actually going to return false. So that's just basically it. So I hope you understand. All right, yeah. Okay, now back to what we have. Let's say, for example, we wanted to sort the fruits array. Yes, let's use the fruits array. Let's say you wanted to sort the fruits array because we have these are letters and alphabet, so it's going to be easier. We could just say fruits dot sort. And let's see what we have. Fruits dot sort. We see that it actually sorts the array for us. Let me show you guys what. Okay, originally this was what fruits was. Let me say fruits. So the first array. Okay. Let me do it this way. I'm doing it this way. Let me just copy this and paste this here. I want us to see what fruits was before we sorted it out. Okay, so you guys can see my screen, right? Okay, so the dot sort method actually helps to sort the array. So by default, if the array is actually an array of alphabets or strings, it's going to sort them by the first letter of the alphabet. More like sorting them from the smallest to the biggest in terms of the alphabets. So I hope you guys understand that. Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So I think that's just basically how sort works. Uh, also, we could also do something. Okay. So we could also use numbers for this sort. Let's say, for example, we have a string of numbers. I could just say, let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to think of something that could do that's kind of challenging to show you guys how sort works very well. So, okay, I think I have a snippet of code here. I'm just going to copy this. So, let's say, for example, we have a string of numbers like this. Copy this and let me just paste this here. Let's say we have this string of numbers, this now, and we save this. Uh, console log numbers first, console log num, save, and we have this is numbers we have, but then we want to sort this out from the smallest to the greatest, so we could just say num.sort, and it's actually going to arrange the array for us. And now we see it arranges it from, it kind of arranges it from the smallest to the biggest. Yes, so so it says 1, 10, 100, 13, 23, 36569. If you don't understand what just happened, put your hand up. Okay. All right. So very good. Okay. So I think this is going to be the last thing I do before we round off for today's class. Okay. So it's not like it's not sorting them in an order. It's sorting them in an order, but then it's sorting them according to the first element or the first integer in the array. So one first, and one comes before all others. So 0 comes before other numbers. So 1 will come first before 10, and then 100 before 13 and all. Okay, so let me try to be fast with this. So the best way we could actually do this is we could sort this out, but to sort this out, we'll have to use a function. Okay. Now to use a function, we could call this const ascending. Const ascending is going to be a function. Okay, rather than doing it this way, we just say function. Function. Let's just call this ascending. Okay, and we say A, B, and then inside the function we just say return A minus B, and then all we do is this. So we could actually call this function and just say num dot sort num dot sort, we call this ascending, and we console log this. Let's just do this. All right, so now we see that it actually gets sorted out the way it's supposed to be: 1, 5, 9, 10, 13, 100. Okay, so I'd like to continue this class, but time is almost up for us. But without further ado, for those of you who can, please, there are still lots of array methods. We don't really have much time, but once you have your free time during the week, try and see if you could actually work on all these array methods. There are lots of them. There is splice, there's splice here. There's from, and okay, there's for each. I think you guys have actually used for each. There is off, and there are ways you can even iterate through arrays. There's filter, there's map, okay, there's reduce, there's sum, there's find. So there are lots of them. You guys could actually go through them later whenever you can. Okay, so from my end here, I sign out. Thank you guys for a lovely time. I think today's class was also nice, although there was no giveaway today, but no Allah. All right, thank you guys, thank you very much. So I'll be handing